Hey guys, welcome to the second edition of the MTL Web Show. With me today, I have team manager of the Chicago Bustankas, Moises Napoles. Have a seat with us.
All right, thanks for having me today.
So, second edition of the Web Show. We got some beers. We're gonna talk some football, talk about the league, and hopefully we have some time. Do a little NBA talk. We do like other sports. But I think what we should just get started is take a look at this week's matchups, see what we got going on, see past trends, and try and see how they relate to the current matchups we have this week. Take a look at the first matchup of yours truly, Dickie Simpkins and Plaxico's Gunner Pawns. Take a quick look at the matchup page. I think clearly I'm the favorite, especially given what's transpired in the past day. Dickie's gonna roll to the league, roll to the division championship. Projected for 90 points, Plaxico for 71. But as we know, projected points doesn't mean too much. I'm pretty confident Plaxico's a paper champ, and his team doesn't hold up to mine.
Well, you did make a trade recently. You got Matt Forte recently from the now Los Romos. Another name change.
Another name
change.
Into
that though later. But you did make that trade. Whether that benefits
I like the trade. I was doing backflips when he proposed the trade. It started out as a bigger trade. I was looking for Hines Ward, and I was willing to give up Greg Jennings, but thankfully I think in the end he didn't want to give up on Ward, and I kept Jennings, and we put a smaller deal together, and he accepted.
It wasn't a one-sided trade. It's not like Matt Forte is having the season that everybody projected him to have. So it's not in a sense it hasn't been that great. Who did you give up? You
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw's been doing well, especially with Jacob's injuries.
It's clearly a situation where Bradshaw's doing good. He's no doubt about that. And I also gave up Donald Brown, who was a kind of a sleeper guy that I really liked. That guy that I truly believe will take over the Colts starting running back job. Had Joseph Adai last year. He's either going to get injured or he's going to lose his job because he sucks. So he's a guy, two guys I honestly liked, but I think I'm selling high on Bradshaw. I think Brandon Jacobs, as the weather gets bad. The Giants are a running team. They're not a passing team. They're a running team, and Brandon Jacobs is the guy that's going to do most of the running. Bradshaw's still going to have value, but I think I'm selling high on him and buying very low on Matt Forte, especially since we're all Bears fans. He did have a pitiful performance against the Falcons, so I kind of knew that going in that he was gonna get a little too undervalued because of that shitty performance. Because we're all Bears fans. I was happy to buy low.
He's had one game where you could actually say wow this season, and he hasn't really wowed anybody. That was one of the reasons I'm pretty sure Los Romos picked him up in the draft. He had high expectations.
Let's get this started. We're not recognizing no name changes. Los Romos does not exist. He's assholes. I'm not. LTD is always LTD. I don't care if you change his sneaking name to the Spoilers, to On the Hot Seat, to the Hershey Highway. I don't give a shit. I don't know.
The Chris Browns.
The Chris Browns.
I'm just kidding.
So,
all right. No, but I mean, this would be considerably a better matchup if it weren't this week. Plaxico's Gunner Pawn has some decent players.
And he doesn't even have a starting running back. He's got Fred Taylor, who's been out for weeks.
Right. And I mean, Steven Jackson, I mean, he's definitely a good running back. Really hasn't done much. I mean, he's with a sorry team. So, I mean, to be completely honest with you, he's got a decent team, but unfortunately, it's not this.
And his division is stacked. The Bud Light division is extremely stacked. There are 6 teams, and 5 of them are 4-2 or better. So, I mean, it's an extremely strong division. I think the Miller Lite division, which is the division that me and you are in, it's looking like a 1, maybe 2 horse race.
Like the East
with me leading. It's the East of the NBA.
Hey, anything can happen in the East. That's the good thing. I mean, that's how we roll. Well, I mean, this one gives you the if anything, your favorite on this one due to the the bye weeks that Plaxico's Gunner Pawn has. Otherwise, I mean, you guys have the same record. I mean, his record speaks for itself. But I guess Dickie will come out on top.
Dickie's gonna come
barely,
out on top.
but he'll do it.
It's
an unfair matchup, to say the least. This is gonna be a good one here, guys.
The next matchup.
This is featuring one of the biggest surprises of this season, I would say, Fuzos, who's on fire, and I think he's #1 in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
Top team in the league, 5-1 record.
Fuzos. He was He did not. He was. I think he won his 2 games last season.
He had a 4-10 record next year, and he's looking like he's the Denver Broncos though this year.
He is definitely the surprise team. Now let's go to the spoiler.
LTD. He's not the spoiler.
He's got Biggie here.
He's a white guy.
You know, East Coast.
He's trying to rap.
He's got an East Coast versus West Coast, and Fuzo's got Tupac over here. But let's take a look here at the matchup. Ooh, Peyton Manning's a beast versus Drew Brees. They're 2 of the best quarterbacks.
Basically, it comes down to
the QBs.
LTD has 2 good pieces in Larry Fitzgerald.
Whoa. Oh, let me take over here while this guy chokes. You know, it's definitely the matchup of the quarterbacks here. I think Peyton Manning will definitely have the slight edge. He's going up against the Rams, for goodness sake. You know, Drew Brees, Miami's not that great, but, you know, he'll do well. But, you know, besides that, I'm looking at the running game for the spoilers, and to be honest with you, I mean, it's pretty weak, man.
His running backs are weak.
He's got a Ryan Grant going up against the Browns, so that might be an advantage.
That's decent.
Frank Gore, he's had a good 2 games to start the season. Got everybody.
Fuzo's is a team. He's good now. I don't think he stays healthy. I think he comes back down to the pack. He does not end the season as the #1 team. He's got injury risk all over the place. Chad Johnson, or Chad Ochocinco, whatever the hell you want to call him. There's always an injury risk.
Spoiler. He's changing his name around.
Anquan Bolden's always an injury risk. Ronnie Brown has never stayed healthy in his entire career. Frank Gore has already gotten hurt. He's coming back from an injury. Jeremy Shockey has
He's too old.
Never stayed healthy in his entire career. There's a reason he left the Giants. And Santoni Holmes, I'm not a big fan of. He's not really consistent.
He'll be all right.
So,
but I think the difference.
But he's doing well so far. So gotta give it up to him.
Right. The Fuzos will definitely take this one. I got him winning here by a larger margin of what the projected scores are here. But I think the difference will be in this one. He's got Drew Brees, and he has the Indianapolis defense going up against the St. Louis Rams. So Fuzos, we got this one.
Fuzos minimum 15 points. Next, we got GQ Pikes and the Beer Barbarians.
The Beer Barbarians. Well, this pretty much brings us to another surprising team, the GQ Pikes. I mean, they're doing pretty decent this season. They've won some by a lot. They've won by a pretty large margin.
Listen, when you have a top 3 pick 2 years in a row and you don't do something, then that's saying a lot. He's had a top 3 draft pick 2 years in a row, so I'm not surprised he's doing well. His team on paper does not look that great. He has a lot of guys that are overperforming, exceeding expectations. He's got Big Ben Roethlisberger as his quarterback, a guy that I had, a piece of shit that I had, that he was my 3rd round pick. And I ended up dropping him midway through the season because he was a big pile of shit. Donald Driver is having an amazing year. He's screwing Greg Jennings over for some odd reason. He's the guy getting the touches versus Greg Jennings. Earl Bennett is his #2 receiver. I think he's got Santana Moss and Kevin Walter also as part of his receiving crew. Solid, not great options.
Jason Witten, talk about a disappointment this season.
He's been disappointing. He's been disappointing. I mean, just
has he scored?
I think it goes to the overall shittiness of the Cowboys of Tony Romo and the overall shittiness of the Dallas Cowboys team. They suck. Romo sucks. He craps his pants at every big moment, and I mean, I think that team's a mess. I wouldn't touch it. He's got